Man, he's a beast. He's been doing his thing. He's fast, explosive, smart, excited.
How do you think his presence impacts you?
He gives us another guy up front to rush. He's been taking his roles really strongly, and he's been doing his thing in the inside on the outside. So excited to have another guy to add to the gauntlet.
We've seen you and Brian taking him to the side, working with him. What's it been like kind of working with him, just seeing what he can do a little bit?
I think when new guys come in, they always have, certain talents and things that they can help us with, and we know certain things that we can help him with. So it's been a constant, growth mindset between all of us.
How's the spring been for you?
Spring's been great. I'm healthy, I'm fast, I'm strong, I'm excited. Things been good.
Kayvon, there's the fifth-year option pickup. Now knowing this year, next year, last year you didn't really know that for sure. Does that give you security, or do you wish it was more, or how do you go into that?
I don't really think about too far ahead. I think for me, I can only control the now, and the now, I got to get better pass rushing, I got to get better stopping the run, and that's what I'm focused on. I think the more I can do for the team, the better off I'll be. So just honing in on that.
Did you look at snap by snap of last season and everything, and
definitely
assess? I mean, you a hard grader of yourself?
Definitely look snap by snap. I got hurt last year and missed kind of that middle part. So I tried to focus on the last half of my season and see, how I did well and, things I can do better.
What are things that maybe you felt like you didn't do well about?
I didn't finish. I think I had like 5 half sacks, which should have been whole sacks. I've had probably like four or five missed tackles at the sack point. So just finishing my plays and, being able to just come out, on top of every situation.
Kayvon, are there things that you go into this season believing that you haven't shown the league that you want to show about who you are as a player or who you've grown as a player?
Yeah, I think I'm a consistent double-digit sack guy, and I got to do that. It's been 3 years going on 4 now. It's been a lot of ups and downs in my career and, as a team, but I think this is a team that can win, and, I can help that.
What do you think about your new DBs there, Paulson?
Man, love him. Having Javon, I played with Javon back in college, and he's always been a field general. Paulson's great. He's been doing his thing. He's a leader. But I think just having those extra pieces definitely does add to the nucleus of the defense.
With Javon, I mean, you mentioned you did play with him in college. What was he like then? And do you see that same element now as far as him being that field general type?
Yeah, he got a nose for the ball. Ever since college, he's been getting that ball out, whether it's, interceptions or punch outs and things like that. But he's definitely, he makes his teammates better. And he knows everything that's going on. So I think that's definitely going to help some of the younger guys step up and then also, help the defense as a whole.
Is there any reason to think that this defense cannot be really good?
No.
Why? I mean, is it because of your health, the additions, the new guys? What's your sense of the whole group?
I mean, we've been putting in the work. We've been putting in, the time with each other, team chemistry. I think it's kind of interesting how Joe went and got, a Stanford guy for Bobby, an Oregon guy for me. And we also, we got a couple Oregon guys on the team. But bringing in guys that know each other, that can play well together, that can, do what needs to get done.
What are you seeing in Shane's defense here, too?
I see confidence. I think last year, it was a new defense, a lot of moving parts, but it's a lot more confidence growing in the team and then, the guys running the plays.
Kayvon, you always seem to be a guy who likes to be up front. You want to hear what people have to say.
Yeah.
Did you have a moment at all this offseason when they drafted Abdul that you wanted to know where your future was here?
Nah, to be honest, I always knew where my future was. I'm in control of my own future, and I've never not been in control of my own future. I think whether it's injury, whether it's, whatever kind of goes on, whatever adversity you face, your future is still in your control in the day by day. So all offseason, I've just been training, working on doing what I can do to continue to get better and control what I can control.
Kayvon, speaking of adversity, you mentioned your injury. What did you learn, having to miss that chunk? I mean, did it make you hungrier, or what did you learn about yourself?
No, I've always been hungry. I grew up poor, and this is an opportunity to make more money than you'll ever make in your life. So there's no added pressure. There's no added motivation. I think the motivation is not only to get here, but to stay here. And then once you're here, you're in a land full of lions, right? You got to come out on top. So for me, I just want to be the best now. That's kind of what my motivation is, and that's what I'm here to do.
Kayvon, you've always been sort of willing to put numbers to goals. Do you still have
more than I ever had? More than I ever had. Every time I come out on the field, I want to have more sacks than I ever had, more tackles than I ever had, and whatever I got to do to help the team. So yeah, I'm still going for the record. I'm gonna go for the record every year.
What's the time of year like for you guys in the trenches? You know, Darius has got to understand this is the best part for a receiver because you're running, but you guys are battling, but you can't play.
Yeah, OTAs suck. OTAs suck. You know, you can't really show what you want to show. You can't do what you want to do. But I think it's definitely a time to just fine tune. For me, this is not. You know, you're not gonna use every move in the game that you would use in OTAs. But while you're in OTAs, it's good to sharpen. You know, the things that you're not always using.
I know you're on the other side, but you're going against that offense every day. How different does it look to you this year?
I'm excited, man. You know, all offensive lines suck to me, so I can't really, across the league, literally across the league. So I can't really tell you yet, and we haven't been in pads. So it's not really much they can do either on their side to show, what they've been working on and things like that. But I'm excited. I know we allocated a lot of resources to the O-line, and there's a lot of confidence, there's a lot of swagger, there's a lot of good energy coming from that room. So I'm excited to see, how they put it together.
With Russ, is there anything you've seen differently up close than you've seen from him on tape or film or on TV?
I mean, he's that guy. He's the guy that you've always seen. I think he has a great opportunity to lead us, and he's been doing that, and I'm confident in him. I'm super excited. I'm happy.
Is there anything just a couple of years ago, you were in a position that Abdul finds himself in.
Yeah.
A top 5 pick and being brought here with a lot of expectations. I don't know necessarily if you have sat down and talked formally, but what have you said to him about the experience that you went through that maybe he can learn from?
Just keep doing what you're doing. I think you lose that when you come in the league because the lights are brighter and there's a lot more people asking you questions. But honestly, just stick to what got you here and, keep your head down and grind. I think when you get too focused on everybody else's expectation or what everybody else thinks you should be doing, that's when you start to lose yourself. For me, I've been able to play my best and do my best when I'm doing what I know I do best, right? And not really focusing on the outside. So that's what I told him.
Do you feel like in these first couple of years you've lost it a little bit?
Say it again?
Do you feel like you've lost that bit of yourself a little bit? Like paying attention to the outside when you bring that up from?
Well, I bring that up because that's something that's real, and I think it's every week. So when you say you lose yourself, like you don't let it stack up, right? Every week when we come back in and we answer these questions, you got to reevaluate, who you are and what everybody's expectation of you is. So for me, it's after every game, like you're gonna read it, you're gonna see it. It's social media, we're on it every day. But now it's like, all right, you read it, you digest it, and you flush it, and you move on, and you get back to your process.